Greetings again, Chombas. Hello. This time we're going to do a little more of a deep dive. A while back I did a quick overview of martial arts and brawling, but this time we're going to get a little further into it. We're going to talk about the different actions you can take, how the damage works, what your damage is, damage modifiers, martial arts versus brawling, all that stuff. So we're just going to jump right into it and get moving here. Okay, first one. First thing is, well, you can do a strike, a kick, a block, a parry. I'm just going to throw some of this stuff up on the screen here so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. Now, I'm not going to leave this up for too long because I don't want to block your view of the kick-ass demo for 2077. But in any case, you can do a block, a parry, a dodge, a disarm, a throw, a hold. I'm going to get more into detail in a moment. You can try to escape, a hold, or grapple. You could do a choke, a sweep, or trip, or you could do a grapple. Okay, those are your basic actions. I'm going to get that thing off the screen so you guys can watch the demo if you want. And then we're going to go a little more detail on these actions. So, a strike. Now, a strike does a die 6 divided by 2 plus your damage modifier. What's your damage modifier? We'll talk about it in a minute. A kick does a die 6, a full die 6 plus your damage modifier. Block or parry stops or absorbs damage. A dodge does a -2 to the attacker's hit roll, so they take doesn't affect your rolls at all. But when they go to attack you, if you're dodging, if that's the action you're taking, then they get a -2 to hit you. So you're making it harder for them to hit you, obviously. Okay. On a disarm, if you successfully make your disarm, you can basically get that weapon out of that opponent's hand. Knock it to the ground, kick it away. Maybe depending on your ref and how they want to play it, you could do some cool stuff like try to kick it over to another person in your group to give them a weapon. But whatever, you're disarming them is the point. You can also do a throw. Now, a throw does require a grapple right before the throw. You have to have successfully grappled before you can make your throw. Now, when you do your throw, the opponent is knocked to the ground. They're going to get a die 6 plus your damage modifier, plus they're making their stun roll at -2. Now, notice this says make a stun roll at -2. It doesn't say if they make a stun roll, then they take it -2. Point is, you're throwing them to the ground, you're knocking the wind out of them, that kind of thing. No matter how much damage they might or might not take, whether it knocks them down a level and they would otherwise make a stun roll or not, they do have to make one because of this throw. Now, I mentioned the grapple. I was going to go a little bit more into the grapple part. You have to have already made a successful grapple before you can do your throw. Now, you also could be doing a holding action. If you've already grappled an opponent, but you decided you didn't want to throw them, you didn't want to do something else, then you can continue to hold them, keep them immobilized, keep them from taking other actions. Now, if you did that at whatever point, you could decide to make your throw, and then they would take the effects I described a moment ago. Now, the next one is a hold. As we were just saying, a hold is a painful joint or body hold. Painful, but doesn't do damage. Okay. As far as game mechanics, it doesn't do damage. As far as game roleplay, it hurts. It's not a comfortable thing. It's not something someone's going to want to continue to be in a hold. They basically are trapped. They can't do anything until an escape is made, until they make an escape roll and successfully make an escape roll, which is the next item on the list, an escape. On a successful successful escape roll, guess what? You're free from a hold and can move. Okay. Let's see. Now, the next one is choke. Requires a hold or grapple. So again, the previous move, you have to have just done your grapple or have done your grapple and been holding the opponent. But you can then do a choke. The opponent takes a die 6 damage per turn. Now this one's not plus your damage modifier in this case. This is just a die 6 per turn. I'll give you a quick tip though. If you have the right piece of cyberware and a cyber arm, you can do significantly more damage on a choke. So there's a little quick cyberware tip for you thrown in for free, right? Okay, next item, you can do a sweep or a trip. Now, basically, I would say that these two depend, which one you're doing depends. If you're using Brawling, you're doing a trip. If you're using martial arts, you're doing a sweep, right? Okay. You're knocking the opponent down to the ground. Now, when you do that, his next attack on you, on anyone, is at a -2. He takes -2 to his next attack roll. Now, you will get a +2 to your next attack, and although it doesn't quite say this, it doesn't say this part in the description. Um, I would always say that that's a +2 to your next attack on the opponent you just did the sweep or trip on. It doesn't say that specifically, but that's the way I always played it and what I'd suggest you do as well. The last item on here, you could do a grapple. Grapple is a holding or grappling move. It is what you have to do before you can do a throw, a choke, a hold, etc. You have to have that grapple successfully made first. Now, one other thing I want to mention real quick. I'm going to go back up here to strike and kick real fast. Now, again, a strike is a die 6 divided by 2 plus modifier. Kick is a full die 6 plus my damage modifier. Now, one house rule I have sometimes used, depends on how the game is going, what kind of a game it is, and what kind of feel, what kind of rolls I want people to have to make, or how much damage to let them do. But I shouldn't say frequently, sometimes, sometimes I've just said, instead of doing the die 6 divided by 2, that for anything, if your arms or hands, it's a die 6. If it's a kick, it's 2 die 6. If it's cyber arms, it's 2 die 6. If it's cyber legs, 3 die 6. It just makes things simpler. All right, regular arms, 1 die 6. Cyber arms, 2 die 6. Regular legs, 2 die 6. Cyber legs, 3 die 6. Just really straightforward. Now, of course, those would be plus damage fire as appropriate, but just a quick, again, bonus right there for you. Some house rule ideas. Of course, core book, if you're doing core rolls, if you're doing modifications, it's up to the ref how they want to handle that. Now, I mentioned the damage modifiers. All right, we're just going to throw these damage modifiers. If you're doing brawling, if you're brawling, this is your damage modifier. You take whatever your body type size is. Now, again, in the book, this is exactly the chart from the book. It shows the higher numbers here, body type 11 to 12, 13, 14, and 15 plus. What it does not show is what the numbers are, what it means by these other sayings. Now, there's another chart somewhere else in the book where it does say what body type is very weak, etc. But we'll just take this easy. From the top, very weak is a body of a 1 or a 2. Weak is a 3 or a 4. Average, 5 or 6. Strong, 7 or 8. Very strong, 9 or a 10. Those are your numbers depending on your body type. So, depending on which body type you are, determines what your damage modifier is. And you will notice, if you've got a 1, 2, 3, or 4 body type, you actually don't do as much damage. You do less damage than what your die roll says. And on an average, on a 5 or 6 body type, you have 0 modifier. So I'll get that back out of your race so you can watch the demo if you'd like. Okay, so that's the brawling part of this whole thing, brawling modifiers. Now, when we get into the martial arts modifiers, it gets a little more complicated. Okay, as martial arts modifiers, you've got some bonuses, potentially bonuses not only to your attack roll, but you also get, and this is the big one as you improve your martial arts skill, you get to add your martial arts skill level to your damage rolls. Now, that might not seem much when you generate a character and you've got like a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or something in a martial arts. But take a look at that body type, that brawling damage again here. See that if you got a 2 or a 3 in martial arts, that's like a 10 body in brawling. But you can keep improving that martial arts skill. You could have a 5 or 6 or 7 martial arts skill, and those all add into that damage that you're rolling, right? So it can be pretty massive stuff. Now, the one thing I'll mention, the martial arts, not only is it more deadly, though, it is more difficult to improve. Martial arts, you have to use the IP modifier, depending on what kind of martial arts you have. I'm going to throw the martial arts chart up so we can see what I'm talking about there. We're going to start over here on the left. You see, for example, karate has a 2 modifier. So you got to use that. When you're going to improve your karate skill, you have to take your current skill number times 2 times 10 to see how many IP you need. So it can jump up quite a bit. You notice some of these, like judo, only has a 1. So basically it's not a that's unmodified. Some of them are more difficult. Thai boxing is a 4. Aikido is on here, man. Animal Kung Fu is a 3. Taekwondo is also a 4. But you'll notice the difference is how many bonuses you get and what you get bonuses for. So you'll notice across the top you have the strike, kick, all those actions that we talked about a moment ago. And then you come down, pick whatever martial art it is you have, and that's your to hit bonus for taking that action with that martial art. Now, one other little trick, if you can get away with it at character creation is best, is you pick a more offensive martial art and a more defensive martial art, or any two that complement, the bonuses where they complement each other. And you can end up, if you do this right way, you can end up with a lower IP modifier, but get more bonuses to potentially more actions. So another just quick tip for you, depending on what kind of character and how you want to min-max or not, or what your ref will let you do, of course, there too. Now, let's see, we have that. We have talked about the damage modifiers. I'm going to get that back off that screen for you. I do want to mention, you notice there were only 10 or 11, 12 martial arts on that chart. I actually have a chart that some good friends of mine from many years back that we played Cyberpunk, we put together. Oh, it's got around 60 martial arts on it. And we did a bunch of the numbers on it, used a similar formula to the core book rules chart, and we made this one. So if that's one you want, if you guys might be interested in, drop me a comment down below. I'll have to retype it. I don't even think I have a digital copy of this chart anymore, but I'd be willing to do that and get it up there for everybody to download if you guys want. Drop me a comment, let me know. So enough of that part, right? Okay. So we've mentioned the saves. We're talking about the what you can do with brawling versus martial arts. Now again, brawling doesn't have any modifier. It's more the street fighting kind of skill. You get your body for damage, but you don't get those extra bonuses to hit. So that's where martial arts kind of also really well. Getting distracted here now. I'm trying to watch the trailer. Sorry about that. Anyway, so that covers it. I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for checking it out. I do appreciate your subscribing, your liking, do all that fun stuff. And if you know anyone else that is interested in Cyberpunk 2020, please pass a link over to the channel on. I would appreciate it and help somebody else getting into this game. I'll answer any questions down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one.